drums. Damn. Listen, it may get deep when I speak. Deacons round town, not a peep when I preach. See, I hold fresh thoughts like a car baby seat. And just like crack, find me in the streets. Literally making moves, lights flashing. Nothing pretty about it, so don't call it swagging. Cliche rap about your swag not lasting. Cause if you swag surfing, guess I'm swag yachting. Coast Guard alarming, no I'm not stopping. Call me break dance boogie, yes I get it popping. See any given beat, you need to watch my feet. Never slip or lose my grip like a four-wheel Jeep. Unforgiving lyrics pushing limits, man who they kidding? I'm hard hitting while they slip and slide slipping. I'm forever in it.
There must always be one.
Yeah, hopefully there's only one.
All right, man. Bring that mic however close as you want. Yeah. You want to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable.
Oh, I will be comfortable.
You make me uncomfortable as far as, pushing me. which that's what I pay you for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope I'm still in the angle. We'll see.
We'll see.
This is on you anyways. This is about you, so.
Oh, okay. Well, jeez.
But guys, welcome to this one time. Today my guest is Mark Neumeyer.
Yes.
Or not Neumeyer. Neumeyer. You are a physical trainer, among many other things which we're going to get into.
Yes.
I know you from working at EOS.
Yes.
And you are their master trainer.
Yes.
And I am studying under you. Okay.
And you're a great student.
Thanks, man. I like I said, like when you were interviewing me, when getting into it,
yeah.
You're like, what are you trying to get and what are you doing? And I'm trying to be about the process and the form. So I hope that comes across when you're instructing me.
Oh, it's showing that you're willing to be coached and doing what I tell you to do.
and what and how and just everything that goes along with it. Like I'm just trying, I'm like, hey, because you invest in that, and some people have it in their mind like this is what I'm expecting out of this, and this is what I need to get, and you're like, hey, hold up, back to basics.
Yes.
Let's get you a good little foundation. And then we can ramp it up.
Yeah, like what I tell everyone is I'm not here to fix you. I'm helping you, or I'm teaching you how to fix yourself.
Yeah.
I'm giving all the tools for that toolbox to be successful, even when you're done with me.
Yeah.
You could continue carrying it on throughout your life.
And that's huge. And I think people almost feel like, because even I've thought about it, I was like, oh, how long am I going to do this? Like, what's comfortable for me to be like, okay, well, I'm done with your services per se, but not even that. Like, it's just, hey, you've taught me what I need to know to kind of, go on from there. It's like you're mama bird.
Yeah.
Let me flap my wings.
Yeah, and I tell all my clients, I don't want to see you for more than 6 months.
Yeah.
Because if so, I'm failing you as a coach.
Yeah.
That means I'm not teaching you anything.
Or they're just not soaking it in, maybe they're just...
Either or. Well, if they're not soaking in, then I'm not explaining it right.
Yeah, but maybe some people need their handheld.
Yeah, but still,
if that's what they need, that's what they need.
Exactly, that's correct.
And so I genuinely feel like you're there, for the students. I don't know how you would say that. Clients, yeah. Because everybody's like high-fiving you, everybody's saying hi. Like it's definitely cool to see that other people are still like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, and because I give respect to everyone, and I never down anyone. I'm not there to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to keep everyone encouraged to come in. And have a good experience.
Yeah, you need them coming back.
Exactly. Even if they're not my clients.
Yes.
And you'll see that I talk to almost everyone that comes by me. I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Or how are you doing today? Or, it's just making them feel welcome to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I even felt awkward because I've only been seeing you for 6-7 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I went in there, you were like, hey, can you do a session here? It was like a makeup session or one time. I'm like, no, I can't. And then I freed up and I showed up and I was like, oh, I don't know if I don't want him to see me. I'm over here doing like these other exercises. And then I asked you, I'm like, hey, I did this machine the other day. What do you think about it? And you're like, I don't like it. I was like, well, good. I'm sorry I did it, but what should I do instead? And you were just like, hey, if you're going to come in on your own, like ask for this and do this machine or do this exercise. And that's what I like about you. You've been pretty upfront on like, stay away from that machine, and then again, form.
Exactly. And I don't want you to get hurt. And so there's some equipment that just really isolates the muscle too much.
Gotcha.
And it can increase the injury rate.
Okay.
And for people that just want functional movement, that's what I teach, is functional movement training.
Yes, because we started talking, the questions you were asking me were about diet, and I'm team fuck breakfast, and I know you're heavily against that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't know, man. It sounds like this guy's trying to bulk me up. But then you said, I want you to be Superman strong without the Hulk bulk. Yeah, and I was like, boom, that is the key. So that's when I was like, okay, like I was like, got a little bit more comfortable. I was like, okay, I can get on this. You know?
Yeah, and that's getting you comfortable. Mm-hmm. The biggest step is getting through them doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Even if you're the most experienced person and you just start working with a trainer, a brand new trainer, you're not going to be the comfortable person right away.
Yeah.
You need to warm up to them.
Yeah.
And feel them out. And so I just have to be like, hey, this is what I expect out of you. This is what you're going to get out of me.
Yeah. And then there's that sheet that says, hey, what are 3 things that you expect, that I expect out of you? And I mean, I put like surprise me and make me laugh and then something else. So I felt like right out the gate, like I was just like, not pushing buttons, but I was just like testing your boundaries per se.
Man, what was my response?
You're like, oh, I'll surprise you, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then I think after that first session, you're like, I think I can push you as hard as I do some of the military guys. And
yeah, correct.
I was like, dope, good to hear. Because I've been on a journey myself, which has led me to what I'm doing now, because people were asking me what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And, I have fucked up ankles right now because I think I went a little too hard and neglected and didn't rest up. And I did, at first I was really lauding, is that lauding, right? Praising insanity. But then I was like, wait, they want you to do it 6 days a week. And I'm like, that's okay. I read up on that. That's a little bit too much. And then I was doing way too much lateral movement. Mm-hmm. And that's really what messed up. On top of using toe shoes, which I was fine. My feet didn't hurt, but my joints took a beating because there's this term that I thought was bullshit called activate the glutes. I'm like, what do you really mean by that? It's just, that activate your booty. And it really, going to therapy, physical therapy, really opened my eyes to, I've been using my legs wrong. And this is me as I played soccer my whole life and I was using my legs wrong. Yeah.
And that's like with all my stretches that I've taught you guys, everyone's like, well, that's not how my high school coach taught me how to do it. And I'm like, your coach isn't a practical or a personal trainer.
Not only that, but you're going to classes regularly. You just got back from Vegas, right?
Correct.
You were at the UFC Institute?
Yeah, we were at I was with the NSCA, the National Strength and Conditioning Association, held a conference up there at the UFC Performance Institute.
Yeah. And
that was just awesome to, be with that elite of group.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cutting edge. Especially being in Vegas,
yes,
because a lot of the rehab stuff that they do out of Vegas is huge. You hear Rogan talk all about it. Stem cells, Regeneking, freaking cryo, all that stuff.
And they have that there.
What, LeBron spends like $500 million or $500,000 a year? I think it's $500,000 a year on rehab, massages, stuff to rehabilitate your body after the beating that you put it under.
Correct.
You've experienced that because you do strongman competitions, right?
Yeah, I'll be entering my first one next year, but I'm going to be training here next month. I'll be starting.
Oh yeah. Damn, be up there with the big boys, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the heavyweight. I'm not in the super heavyweight.
Okay, gotcha.
So
a super heavyweight, so what is that, 350?
It's anything over 275.
275, okay. Okay.
I'm right at the cusp, so I'm at 250. So.
Yeah, no, cut a little weight. Those are monsters, man.
Oh God, yeah. That's you're talking about the ones that are on TV and you hear about that are pushing half a ton and stuff like that. It's like,
so you eat 4,500 calories a day?
I used to.
Okay.
I cut back. I'm down to 36.
Okay. What are you going to ramp it up to then?
About 42.
42. What do you think those guys are putting down?
Anywhere from 5 to 10,000.
God. That's a part-time job at that point.
Pretty much. That's why they got sponsors and stuff like that, because they have to eat 6 to 8 times a day.
Wow.
Meals.
So what are you gonna? So the competition is when? March?
Well, my Highland Games I'm doing in March, and that's here in Phoenix, and then I'll be going to the Strongman in August.
The Highland, you have to wear the kilt?
Yes,
for that?
and I do
Nice.
have one.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did mention that.
Yes.
Is there an Instagram picture with you in it yet?
No, not yet. There will be probably.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So you do the Highland first.
Yeah.
And then the Strongman.
Correct.
So you're doing the Highland one just to kind of help prepare you, or to kind of like assess yourself in comparison to like the field, a little bit of both, or?
I just want to do it to say I did it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It really doesn't set me up for the Strongman at all.
I gotcha. Okay.
It's just something that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't feel like I was strong enough to do it.
Really? You don't feel like you're strong enough?
Well, now I think I'm getting pretty close to being able to hang in there with the big boys.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, you work you trained 16 clients the other day on Wednesday, and
Correct.
then you still did an hour and a half workout.
Correct.
Afterwards.
Correct.
So you're over here pushing people, carrying around weight all the time, motivating them, and then you still have to put in your work after the fact.
Yeah, I work 10-hour day, and then I go right into a hour and a half, 2-hour workout.
Jesus. So I guess my next question is, what do you do, like, I guess not after like your regular workout. I would kind of like curious about your normal routine. Okay. And then I guess when you do ramp it up, like what are you doing to like help your body recover?
Well, like right now I'm doing people laugh at me and just die in shock because I'm averaging 1,500 reps a week.
Yeah.
So
1,500 reps a week.
Yeah. And so it's about 300 reps per day.
Yeah. And is that the slow tension under pressure?
Well, it varies.
Okay.
I split the sets up to where some are slow and controlled, isolating, and other are explosive power.
Gotcha.
And then after each day, I go and spend 20 minutes in the sauna.
Beautiful. Yeah, sauna's huge.
Oh yeah, if everyone could spend at least 3 days a week, 10 to 15 minutes at a time, your body will recover hugely.
Yeah, I hear that all the time from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, talking about heat shock proteins. I guess the same idea behind cryo, but I think they're saying that cryo should be done at least a half hour after your workout, and sauna could be done essentially right after.
Correct. Correct.
Sauna reminds me of, as a kid, I used to just walk out in the desert. Like I would just out in the desert because I'm from the country. I'm from Yuma, and desert just all around. And I would just walk and walk and walk. And in July, August, and so sitting in that sauna just threw me right back. I was like, yo, I've been reaping these benefits essentially living in Arizona for so long, because it gets to 122 degrees on some days.
Correct.
Yeah, I had the sun beating me down, and maybe I have a little skin cancer now, but that's the price to pay, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and with cryo, it's they're looking at 45 to an hour after the workout to let your body come back down to homeostasis to recover.
Gotcha.
That way, your red blood cells and white blood cells aren't all scattered.
Oh, okay.
They want them to come back down together, and that's how you will heal the fastest.
Yeah, instead of it being completely jumbled and yeah, that makes total sense, for sure. Yeah, don't don't jump right into that ice bath.
Exactly. Once again, going back to the high school football coach. Oh, you're sore? Go and get in the ice tub right now. It's like, dude, you're going to do more damage to your body than good.
Yeah. People think, and that's what's awesome about you as well, is the recovery is like the time in between reps. Like what we normally do, about what, minute rest?
Yeah, and then about a minute.
Which leads to some awkward eye contact, trying to fill in the silence. And sometimes I'm just sit here and enjoy the silence. Like, not everything has to be filled with something. So I'm sure you experience that time and time again. But yeah, it's the recovery part that people aren't giving themselves time for, which is again why that the insanity workouts is like, boom, from one thing to the next. Okay. Every now and then we did a burnout session this past week. Okay. But not every fucking day.
No, and you don't need that.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't develop anything from it.
Yeah, I think that comes from the mentality of people thinking that they need to do what they see on TV, or their perception of what they need. Like, you told me you had a client that felt like you weren't pushing them enough, right?
Correct.
So they have it in their mind that they need to do X amount. Like, people all the time, they're like, I don't have time for the gym. Do you have time for 10 minutes? Like, just go. 10 minutes will be better than anything. And if you just go regularly, you'll create that habit. And then you'll tell yourself, why am I only showing up for 10 minutes? Let me do 15. Let me do 20. And you start making that time, because you should make time for your health.
Oh, yeah.
This is the only vehicle we have.
Exactly. I mean, and you've heard me say this many times, sweat equity. Sweat equity is where it's at. Is if you're not in there sweating, then you don't care about yourself.
Yeah. There's that. And people think it's just vanity. Oh, people in the gym are just being vain. They just want to look at each other in the mirror. And like, again, that's totally opposite of what I want to. Yeah, I want to look good, obviously. Yeah. But like, again, I was looking, when you said Superman strength without Hulk bulk, boom, that's it. I don't want pretty muscles. I want functional muscles.
Correct.
Functional muscles are still pretty muscles.
Correct. And, that's where I got that from was when I was working with the Spec Ops, the Special Forces teams. When I was talking to the commander, he was like, we're not looking for the biggest guy. We're not looking for the fastest guy. We're looking for the strongest and most efficient.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with, okay, yes, Superman's stronger than Hulk and is like, what, a third his size? Mm-hmm. So why can't we have that in real life?
Yeah. And you can.
Exactly.
Like, you've seen those rock climbing guys, right?
Yeah.
That grip.
It's insane.
Yeah. And they're not huge. Like, you see those videos on YouTube where the guy's all, huge, and he's strong in his own right. But when you compare grip strength to them and what they can pull just day in, day out, hour after hour, because they're doing it that often, like, you would never tell that these guys were that strong.
Oh yeah. It's amazing, the comparison ratio.
Yeah.
Their strength compared to their body weight.
Because it's functional.
Correct.
It's functional. And that's the big difference.
Yes. And like I told you from the get-go, you wouldn't lift over 45 pounds.
That's right. And I was like, damn it, I got this gym membership to do bench and squat and like just get these numbers up, get these racks up. But I'm like, no, it's totally right. Like, again, I was thinking,
that old mentality.
The old mentality. Yeah, for sure.
It's just like, we're not here to build you up to be, shoulder pads. I want you to be able to move them shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like how I tell people is with the big bodybuilders is when they get the big shoulders, look at their mobility and their.
Oh yeah.
They can't wipe their own asses.
Yeah. And then that puts a beating on your body. I mean, you see a lot of these famous bodybuilders. I think the most famous one, what's his name? Oh, I just drew a blank on his name. But there's a documentary on Netflix, and he's in assisted crutches.
Yeah.
And he was the biggest, baddest dude.
CT Fletcher, and then
I think it is CT.
Yeah.
He's got that real raspy voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is CT Fletcher. I was confusing him with Tate Fletcher. Yeah, CT Fletcher. Yeah.
And I don't like that style.
it got him accolades, and he was on a mission, and he accomplished that mission, but there was a price to pay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll put any of my tactical athletes that I've worked with up to wrestle whatever, any bodybuilder, and they'll put them down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would, you would looking at it on paper. I think people are coming around to that now because of, MMA.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this guy's going to get wrecked because he's just smaller than the other dude. And next thing you know, he's wrestling him to the ground, or maybe he's just quicker. Like Nate Diaz, his style, slap boxing essentially.
Yeah.
But he's going to not tire. And eventually those just add up. It's like a savings account, right?
Yeah.
And then in the 5th round, that's when he makes a withdrawal. And next thing you know, you're out.
Well, and that's like Wilder, the boxer, man. He was at what, 213? And he's fighting and dominating these guys that are 240, 250.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
There is something behind it. Obviously, when you're that big, you are going to have, more force. But then you're going to tire out because that when your body's that big, it costs for a lot more resources.
Yeah, your heart rate goes up, your blood flow goes up, you tired out.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah. Well, adrenaline only gets you so far.
Yeah.
Endorphins get you only so far.
Endorphins let you be eaten alive.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah, it'll still only get you so far.
Exactly. And
it reminds me, I watched that movie, 128 Hours?
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy
that cut his own arm off.
I don't think I could do that.
Life or death.
I know. I don't know, man. That's rough.
Well, and especially like he in that documentary, I don't know if they said it, but I actually got to talk to that guy.
Did you? Because that segues us to your Hollywood career, I guess we could call it.
But I got to meet him, and he goes, something that they really didn't mention or push, that he was hearing the coyotes out in the...
Oh, my God.
So he was hearing them come closer and closer to him.
Oh, shit.
And so that's what encouraged him even more so.
Yeah, you're going to be eaten alive asshole first, or let's cut through this arm.
Yeah, and get out of here.
And, have a chance. Wow. Yeah. They didn't say anything about that.
And that was his, he was thinking about his family and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But he goes, the biggest drive was hearing the coyotes get closer and closer because they could smell his blood. I'm sure, and his piss and shit, whatever shit he had.
Yep. Wow. How'd you meet him?
It was just a random meeting. I think it was at a coffee shop up in St. George, Utah.
Oh, shit.
Because I think he's from not too far from there.
Yeah.
Because it happened up there. And that's where I met
Monument Valley or right around there? Or?
No. I can't think of where it was.
That's the only one I can think of in Utah.
No, it was one of the canyons.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think it was like, Antelope Canyon or something like that.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Because that's where they have all those wallpapers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I was neat I only got to talk to him for like 5-10 minutes because he was on his way out. We just, because I was like, I know you from someplace, and he goes, oh yeah, you've probably seen my documentary. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And that's when we got talking, and I was like, I had one quick question. What was your most motivation?
Yeah.
And he goes, family and hearing the damn...
the yotes.
The yotes out there. And
yeah, that would do it for sure. Yeah. I wonder if he's still haunted.
He probably hears them in his dreams. I wouldn't doubt it. I would be.
Yeah, for sure.
Being out there for 120 hours...
Yeah, even that isolation. Yeah, that's the worst thing that can happen to... I mean, what's the worst thing you can do? So somebody's already in jail, right? So you're already secluded from society. What's the worst thing that they can do from there? Throw you into the isolation chamber?
Yeah.
What's that? Isolation chamber?
Yeah.
Solitary confinement. Yeah. Remove you completely from any human interaction, which he essentially had no human interaction. So that in itself is just psychological torture.
And then putting wolves and coyotes around you.
Yeah. And he literally could not go anywhere. So it's not like he's confined to like a 6x10.
Yeah.
You can't move.
Yeah. That's like putting a chain to your ankle and saying, you have 3 feet to move.
Yeah. Fuck that. So you were in Hollywood as a stuntman.
Correct.
For how long?
About 8 years.
8 years. That's a big chunk of time. I would say, what's the average career for a stuntman?
Anywhere from 2 years up to 12.
12 years.
Yeah.
12 years. Obviously, there's a couple guys that are longer, but we're talking about average, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Because what's the average lifespan of like a football player?
Anywhere from 4 to possibly 16 years. It just depends on their position and how bad they get beat up.
So it's the same.
Yeah.
You know, like WWE stars too.
Exactly.
Day in, day out type, throwing your body around.
Yeah. And like I was jumping off buildings and...
You told me you had how many shoulder surgeries or dislocations?
Dislocations. My left shoulder's been dislocated 4 times. My right, 12.
Jesus. Like, so do you not even bother trying to play ping pong or anything that involves?
I can play just fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've re-strengthened it up to where I can do about just about anything.
What was the worst wipeout you experienced?
They're all bad. I mean, probably falling from the building or jumping from one building to the next and missing my mark.
Oh, shit.
And falling 10 feet onto concrete.
No, they didn't pad it?
Yep.
Or you missed the padding?
I missed the wall. Because it was about 6 foot between buildings.
Yeah.
And I misjudged how far I was, where my jumping pad or my jumping point was from.
Yeah. Oh. So you took off too early, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I boom, I ran right into the wall.
Oh, shit.
Like in the cartoons. That's pretty much what I did. I hit and slid and fell. And pretty much. You could put sound effects to it.
Well, nobody would blame you from like jumping too early because you don't want to jump late either. But yeah, ouch, man. So how long did that put you out?
Probably about
2 hours.
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh shit. What were you working on when that happened?
I was doing a haunted house down in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, that's right. That's the other thing we need to get into. You're big in the haunted houses up here, right?
Correct.
So we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
Damn. So you were. So 3 weeks that puts you out. So how did you get started in stuntman? Stuntman
career path?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was working at a haunted house I helped design out in Bakersfield, California, and I'm not going to name drop, but a couple big time directors and a producer see me doing a stunt out there for this guy, one of my customers out there, because he goes, "Hey, can you do stunt?" I was like, "I've never done it, but I'll try anything."
This is pretty much it right here, right?
And so he goes, "Well, we just need someone to run on top of this barn and then run down the face of it on a rope." I was like, "Show me how to do it and I'll do it." And it kind of scared me the first time I did it, but after I did it, it was nothing.
Yeah, it's under your belt now, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, that fear's gone.
Scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
Now that you know, there's still a little fear there, but you kind of know how to like anticipate or combat those feelings to an extent.
Correct. Yeah. And so the one director pulled me to the side afterwards, and he goes, "You did really good up there. How long have you been doing this?" I was like, 2 weeks. He goes, "Really?" He goes, "I've seen stuntmen that have been in the industry 5 years that kind of hesitate to go down face first because I'm rappelling face first down this wall of a building."
And what is it? At least 18 feet or so?
It was 33 feet.
Oh, shit.
So I had to get uncomfortable really quick.
Yeah.
And because it was just going, literally I run to the edge and I already got the harness on it, so I didn't have to worry about clipping in or anything. So, and then I just like run down the side of the building. And then you have to stop yourself with one of the ropes.
Okay.
So you're Aussie style and rappel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like what you see like special forces do and stuff like that. And he goes, you did that really well. And I was like, yeah, cool. He goes, hey, I'm directing a indie flick. I was like, okay, what can I do for you? And I thought maybe he was going to ask me to design something, a set design or something like that. And he was like, no, we need a guy to do just what you did. And I was like, okay, sure. And I was like, how much do you pay?
Yeah, there you go.
And he told me, and I was like, okay, when do you need me? And so 4 months later, I went and did my first indie flick.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, this is cool. And then come find out, it never was produced.
Oh, no. They couldn't find any buyers or
Yeah. So I was like, oh, man, I never got to see my first indie flick that worked on.
Yeah. I wonder if you could like get a copy or something.
I've tried.
Come on.
And now since that's like almost 18 years ago, so it's so hard to find it now.
Yeah.
Because I called the producer and director. I was like, what's going on? Has this been just shelved? And they're like, yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. Like it's already filmed, right? Mm-hmm. Is it not edited?
It's edited, everything.
You would think
it was funds.
It's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out for free at this point. What?
They need to make some kind of money.
But they're not making anything. Maybe it would gain traction, and maybe they're like, hey, let's do small, premieres, small studio release. Yep. At that point, once it gets traction, but
yeah, they just needed the funds to pay off everything, and so it got a lean towards it.
Yeah, I guess that's something I know nothing about, obviously, but I'm assuming that if you move forward with it, then you have to pay back essentially.
Exactly.
And if you just sit on it, it's kind of like, sorry guys.
It's
like the basketball stuck on the rim, and we're just like, hey, it is what it is. We could kind of try and get it, but man, well maybe we can sign like a petition or something. Let's see you out there.
Yeah, and
I mean, people can see plenty of your work, right?
Haunted houses, yeah. Like I worked at one of my big haunted houses. I worked at is right down here in Tucson at Old Tucson Studios at Nightfall.
Oh, I've never been to that one.
Oh, it's great. I've been in a couple of the commercials. I've terrorized some of the news anchors that have done live weathercasts and stuff there from there. So and then out in Texas at Thrillvania is another big one.
So you're going, or you don't regularly go out there. You've just been out there before.
Yeah, I worked out there for 2 years, and I was one of the designers that helped redesign some. Yeah,
you've mentioned that you've designed a bunch of these. So you have a background in what, architect or just
no.
Just,
it was crazy how I got
into it. This is what I love about you. So I'm over here, you're performing in the Strongman, you're training military personnel, you were doing stunts, and I asked you, I was like, so did you play football? No. Well, you must have wrestled, right? You're from South Dakota?
Yeah.
Yeah? No, I didn't wrestle. I'm like, you do any sort of training? He's like, nah. I'm like, you're just a fucking savage, dude. It's just in your blood just to be a savage.
Yep, I tried to be.
That's what I love about you, man. I was just like, there has to be some, no. Oh, it's just in your DNA. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
It's in my Viking blood. That's what I tell everyone.
That's insane, man. I'm sorry. So go in. So this is the other thing. So you design haunted houses and
attractions and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I've worked on small, mom and pop haunted houses like up in South Dakota where I started on them. Mm-hmm. Then I've worked on them in Dallas, Texas, and that was like number 3 in the country. I've worked out here with Alice Cooper's when he owned The Nest.
Yeah,
and it was out here in Queen Creek.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was like, about 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was one of the first things you had told me when you told me about haunted houses. You're like that one, and I was like, oh, how long ago? Thinking, it was just a few years ago. You're like, no, I was there at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was one of the originals there.
Yeah. What brought you to Arizona then? Was it?
Actually, I moved down here 9 years ago.
Okay.
Permanently, and I took a job
gotcha.
up in the Grand Canyon.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and I worked up there for 2 years. I was in the engineering department. I was a parts room clerk.
Okay.
I did all the shipping and receiving of parts.
Oh, okay. For the Grand Canyon, for
Zantura, they run the hotels and stuff up there.
Gotcha. Okay. Damn. So you got to hook up. So hey, I've been living in Arizona, born and raised for 31 years, almost 32. Never been to the Grand Canyon.
We'll go.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. I want to go. I need to buy like an 8-inch telescope and get a good view.
Oh yeah.
Of the night sky.
Well, I know several times a year they actually have the astronomy clubs up there.
Really? Do I need to wear suspenders and glasses?
No.
I got them.
And they set up all their big fancy telescopes for everyone to look through.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Okay. I need to find out when that is.
Yeah.
Doing it within the next year.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So, okay. So you're working at the Grand Canyon.
Yep. And then I moved down to Prescott because I wanted to go back to school. Mm-hmm. And I moved there for 2 years.
Is that Yavapai?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yavapai College. Mm-hmm. I got my business cert from there. It was for small business startups and operations.
And you mentioned that too, which again, you're very multifaceted, which I really wanted to get you behind the mic.
Yeah. And then, I was a business consultant back up in Rapid City, South Dakota. I helped, like 10 people start up their businesses.
Nice.
And, get their business license and help them with their taxes and, just get that small stuff squared away so they have a better understanding of what they're doing as a small business.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, were you just pushing paper or were you also pushing weight?
Nope, just pushing paper.
Yeah. Do you have a picture of this guy or are you still just swole?
No, I didn't start lifting until about 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a fatty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. That's why you got them big legs.
Yeah, that and just mountain biking as a kid. And
yeah, that's right.
Growing up in the mountains of the Black Hills of South Dakota, always being out
Going
there.
down the face of Jefferson. No?
I wish. I wish, but...
Can you get up there?
No. No. They've totally stopped all
because
that
of
stuff.
Nicolas Cage, right?
Yes. Damn you, Nicholas.
So you were in Prescott, and then so you just kind of worked your way. You went from north, and then just worked your way south.
Yeah. Then after Prescott, I moved to Tucson, and that's where I went to Pima Community College and got my fitness professional associates.
Okay.
And then I worked with the football team there and the baseball team, and then I was like, this isn't good for me. So I was going through some other personal relationships and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm moving up to Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And so I applied to ASU, and I was like, all right, I'll do this. And that's when I got a job with EOS, and I got after 3 months of there, they promoted me up to master trainer because I was getting so many certifications.
Yeah.
And so I started working more and more, and I kind of had to put my bachelor's degree on the back burner for right now.
Yeah.
But because I'm having too much fun learning how to do everything else.
That's the thing you said. That's the key. You're having fun. So yeah, you worked for a while doing this, but this is also giving you such a rich experience and reward. It's
Correct.
rewarding.
Correct.
To do the work that you're doing right now.
Yeah, I love watching people be successful. Mm-hmm. It's just, just not physical, but mentally and emotionally. Mm-hmm. They get better. They become successful that way.
Yeah, you start working on your body and you start feeling better.
Yes.
That translates to the mind.
Yeah, and that's why I don't go by scale or body fat percentage or anything like that. I go by self-awareness.
Or bra size. I think I'm down a size.
Well, see, that's perfect. Perfect. See, it's all the bonuses.
It's working.
But that's the main thing is just getting them mentally and emotionally fit. Because once you get that fit, the body will get fit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many trainers and YouTube trainers I hear, oh, you got to get physically fit before you could get, be successful in life. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. We got to get your mindset.
Is that kind of stem from, like, you called yourself a fatty?
Yeah.
So you essentially kind of worked on your mind first. Correct. And then you were like, okay, I'm in a good spot here right now in this moment for now. There's no telling what could happen, right? But that kind of pushed you to then work on your body.
Correct.
I think that's kind of what happened with me too. Because I was listening to a lot of podcasts, which is why, like, I feel like I could share interesting people, with the world that aren't already being heard. And I gained so much knowledge from podcasts and just other people's perspectives that I'm like, I'm learning from you here, and I have the means to record it. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So that's where I felt like I was taking in all this information, and I'm sitting here, like 60 pounds heavier than I am now. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I know what's right. I know I'm good. Like, I used to be this weight regularly, before I got married to a Latina, and she was cooking for me, and we're having our drinks and whatnot, and family life catches up.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've put all that information to use, but I felt like my mind was right. And that's the key. Yeah.
Mental and emotionally fit is the two keys to being successful, physically fit. Mm-hmm. Like how I tell people, and you've probably heard me say it to my clients, it's 50% diet, 30% mental, 20% physical.
The actual hard work. That's not the hard work. The hard work is the diet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I can't stand about the internet is all these so-called nutritional specialists, but yet they've never gone to one stinking nutritional class.
Yeah.
They don't have a degree in it. They're not certified. They're not
they read
registered
2 articles.
dietitian.
Yeah.
That's what gets me is these so-called internet nutritionists. YouTube. Oh, you need to eat this, this, and this. And it's like, you don't even know this person, and you're just doing it over the internet.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what their allergens are. You don't know what their genetics are. You don't know what their family history is. So how can you tell them to eat something without knowing all this? And that's the only way you can get that is through blood work.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you won't see success because you don't have the proper tools to prescribe properly.
Yeah, I had my blood drawn 3 times last year, like just kind of testing my markers, because that's when I was taking my diet a lot more serious.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see where I'm at. Okay. And then I did it 3 months later, and then 3 months later I did it again, and everything was looking good, but I just had to make sure, trying to see where that baseline is.
Yeah. And I make fun and poke fun at some of these trainers that tell their clients, oh, your macros need to be this and that. And I'm like, are you a RD or are you a RDN, which is registered dietitian and nutritionist? Do you know what their body's doing?
Yeah. How are they using that?
And are there like thyroid off?
Yeah.
Is there any other chemical imbalances that's going on in their body? So I hate it when personal trainers,
well, they just throw a blanket over it, and it's like, or this is what works for me, so it should work for you. This is the right way. Yeah.
And that's why when you first met me, I gave you recommendations. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Legally, that's all I could do. I didn't have to sit there and break down your macros and tell you what you can and can't eat and when and where to eat. And, that's out of my wheelhouse. That's out of my scope of practice.
Yeah.
And that's what I really wish other personal trainers would get into is remembering our scope of practice.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And our main part of that is to do no harm.
So it's well intentioned, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, we know the basics of nutrition and we can go do recommendations, but we also should be recommending them to specialists.
Yeah, I did the 23andMe earlier this year, and I've been meaning, because I didn't do the health assessment.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pay for that, because I heard it was cheaper through this other company. I forgot which one it is. But I've been meaning, and I've just been sleeping on it forever now. But I've been meaning to put in my results for them to tell me, my DNA markers, my genetic markers on what I might be predisposed to or what I should avoid. Have you done anything like that?
No, not. I did it through a nutritionist a couple years ago that I was working with.
Okay.
And
so maybe I could get my results and just make an appointment with a nutritionist.
Yeah, and they can read them and they'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
And what you can and can't do, or what you should be doing.
What should I avoid, and maybe double up on this because of that?
Well, your ancestry plays a huge part in that.
For sure.
And how your body processes food.
Yeah. There's that whole, I don't know what the diet's called, but where they find out their ancestry and then they research, well, what did they eat? Where we're from.
Exactly.
And then it's like, well, that's probably the diet I should kind of stick closer to. Not saying you can't venture out and have some tiramisu or something,
but mainly, that's correct. And that's once again why I hate when trainers break down the macros and all this stuff.
Because it's easy. People want to eat that stuff up. People want, what's the answer? What's my pill? I need the quick fix. I need that. They don't want to spend the time. Yeah. They want that 2-day shipping. No, they want that Prime now. Like, I need these answers now. I need this pill that will just reverse 30 years of neglect.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's not the case. It's going to take 18 months for you to test stuff out, and see how your body performs under it, and then move from there.
Because a lot of, like, if you're Eastern European descent, you're going to be more of a red meat kind of lifestyle because they didn't have very much fish. They didn't have very many vegetables. I mean, because they just have the hearty vegetables.
The stuff that could last or withstand the elements.
Yeah, like carrots, potatoes, stuff like that. And you're used to eating venison, or any wild game, unless you were by the ocean. So then you had the fish.
Well, what's crazy is like the Inuit, right? All they ate was meat. There's no vegetables out there. Ain't no fruits growing up there.
Exactly.
Fat and meat.
Exactly.
And they evolved
exactly
to benefit from that diet.
Exactly. And so that's why genetics plays so much key factors into what your diet should be.
Dude, the human body is just crazy. It's so adaptable.
It is. But, it's like, what kind of...
Sorry, I'm just thinking about the body as like a computer. You remember LimeWire?
Yeah.
Downloading songs, and you're just like, we're just doing all this garbage stuff to it, and just like, it'll be all right. It'll be all right at the end. And you're just loading this computer up with, visiting like black sites and this and that. And then you get mad when it shuts down on you.
Yeah,
it's
it locks
like,
up.
What did you expect?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't know what to do. Yeah. Once again, genetics goes back to how your hormonal system works. What's your imbalances? What's your balances? How's your thyroid acting? People don't realize thyroid is one of the key factors to diet programming.
Yeah, I have a cousin who has thyroid issues, and she's always been heavy set, dude, since she was like easily 4 years old. And people would just look at her and say, well, your diet's just bad. And it's just like, no, she has thyroid issues that she's experienced since forever.
And a lot of cancer survivors are having the same issue.
Yeah,
because of the chemo they have to go through.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So it's like, hello.
Yeah, it's not a fix all. Hey, this is going to save your life, but these are the side effects of your decision. but it's better than, you know, a deathbed.
Exactly.
Know?
Exactly.
To most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard this from trainers and fitness salespeople be like, oh, we need to put you on X amount of macros a day, and this is when you should be eating, this is how you should be eating. And I have literally came unglued and yelled at some of these people.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, why are they here? Okay, what's their history? What's their medical history? Have they had cancer in their family? Do they have cancer? Are they a cancer survivor? All this plays a factor.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, heart disease. That's another big one that can play big on, you know, diet programming.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and then this so-called keto crap that everyone's on. I'm a huge anti-keto person. And they're finding out it's causing fatty liver issues now.
Yeah. Is it? I need to get checked.
Yeah. And they're like, but I've been on keto for 3 years. And I was like, that's why.
Yeah.
What's your fat intake? Oh, it's X amount of grams. Okay, what are you doing to break that down and change that? Well, I'm working out about 45 minutes a day. I'm like, seriously? How many steps are you taking a day? Oh, maybe 2,000.
Oh, God.
I'm like, so it's just sitting there. All that fat that you're intaking is just being absorbed into your other fat cells, getting you fatter. You're not even out there moving to make benefits of it.
Yeah. You can't follow something like that and then not try to utilize it. And like you said, you would recommend it at most, 6 months? I think is what you had said.
Anything less than 80 days.
80 days. Okay.
80 days is max.
Yeah.
But then once you get off it, you're going to get all that weight back.
Yeah. It's a spring effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how I felt, because I was down to 182 and I wasn't checking my ketones and whatnot, but I was just following it. You know, I was avoiding bread and flour, tortillas. Come on, I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, I was avoiding all that, sweets. And I got down. I was working out like 5-6 days a week, doing yoga. It was during the summer. I'm in my garage, like sweating up a storm. And then, yeah, like last year about this time, I kind of like, you know, leaned off of it, and boom, next thing you know, I'm like 198, you know, like 16 pounds, like overnight it felt like. But I don't know, man. Right now I'm kind of like loose. I'm still fuck breakfast. I did eat a little bit more when you told me, you're like, hey, I need you to eat breakfast. I was like, okay, I'll try it here, try it there. But I do still try to get like to about like, I do have coffee in the morning when I'm working. But I don't know, man. I felt when I did start eating breakfast, I was just feeling full all the time, and I was like, and then at lunch came, I was like, I'm not really hungry, but I should be eating lunch. So I felt like my body was like kind of like still used to my old habits, but I did feel more tired, and that is because I'm not promoting that gut bacteria in my stomach. So anytime I do feed it pasta or large amounts of bread, it's kind of like it's a shock.
Yeah.
So extra blood has to go down there to do it. So there's definitely a balance that I'm coming to, learn, because I was thinking that most people that are sedentary should be on a keto diet, but it just depends on your history.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the ultimate factor. And my one blanket term though, when people do bring up like diet, I said, hey, you should try an elimination diet.
Yeah.
And then work your way up from there. Like that's one thing that I can say with confidence that I feel is pretty good, and I would hope you agree. Yeah. So it's like start with an elimination diet. So and then just start adding things in and figure out what irritates your body and what is like your body's like, hey, thumbs up.
And that's why I love vegan food and vegan diet. That's a not crucial, but a good starting point.
Yeah.
If you can go vegan for 30 days, clean out your system, and then slowly introduce your meats. So key is to remember is the less legs it has, the better protein it has for you.
Okay.
So fish, and then chicken, and then beef, pork, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Because your body can break it down cleaner. And then, you just slowly add in your fats, your meats and stuff like that.
Okay. So you're totally against the carnivore diet?
No, it's great. If you can do it, do it.
If it works for your body.
Yeah. But once again, you got to go and talk to a specialist to figure it out. Because some people can't break down red meats properly.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know my manager, he just can't. Like, it's either pork or chicken.
Yep, or fish.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fish.
And so that's why I like vegan to start for 30 to 60 days to help jumpstart your system. Mm-hmm. And then slowly incorporate your meats. That's
a good call, because I've always felt like, with the standard American diet, like if I wasn't eating meat with my meal, it wasn't a meal. It was like a side dish. Like, and, I'll just find myself more often than not, like I'm making like a little stir fry or something, and then I go grab meat, and I was like, you know what, man, I don't this doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. Let me just eat these vegetables.
Exactly.
And I've come to like not view that, because I almost feel like, I got full and there was no meat involved. Like, that was a waste. Like, that's just naturally how I just came to see diet. Yeah,
because how I tell people if they're gonna want to reboot their system and wean off meat, it's like, go vegan for 30 days.
Yeah.
For the next 60 days after that, go vegetarian. And then after that, add your white meats, your fish, your chicken. And then if you're having a craving of red meat, only like half a palm size.
Yeah, you were saying here.
Yeah, just add a little half a palm, but tie it in with your white meats.
Okay.
And see how your body processes it before you go full bore into the red meat.
Yeah. And then maybe move into like a turducken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right.
Aren't you making one of those for Thanksgiving?
No.
Do you deep fry your turkey?
When I can, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. See? You got to indulge every now and then.
Exactly. And, that's another good thing to bring up is a cheat day. I highly encourage cheat days.
Do you, though, recommend that it be on your schedule, or just, hey, because one thing I felt why I had success with my diet and exercise is that I didn't put it to like a routine, a schedule. That worked for me because it let me be like, hey, I'm doing this like when I want to, versus the schedule, which I told myself my gains would have been better if it was more regimented, but I don't know if I would have stuck with it as long as I did.
I wanted to be in the regiment schedule. Mm-hmm. Like me personally, mine are Saturdays.
Ooh, so what's your go-to?
Whatever I'm craving for the whole week.
Oh, so there's not one thing like, I got to go get smash burger or something.
No, whatever I've been craving all week long, I'll go and get it on Saturday.
Okay.
Right after my workout.
Yeah.
I work out 6 days a week.
Yeah. You're utilizing it. It's like Floyd Mayweather would go and get McDonald's, but that's because he's freaking burning 3,800 calories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I go look at it this way too. Sundays is my off day.
Okay.
But I eat clean.
You eat clean, and do you do like any like stretches or yoga? Or
no, I just take the whole day off.
Hell yeah, cool.
But I still go back to my diet.
Yeah.
Because then I have all day to get back clean to when I get back in the gym on Monday morning or Monday night.
Yeah.
My body's already healed and repaired.
Yeah, you're flushing it out, drinking water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect you as much. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people do it the wrong way, I'll say, where they eat on their off day. Why they're sitting watching football.
Boom. There it is. Yes.
And so their body's not moving.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. Even to me, like, not thinking about it, like, yeah, that would make sense. Because in my mind, I'm like, I just worked out, dude. I got to kind of feed it clean. And then tomorrow is my cheat day. I'm going to relax. And then,
exactly.
Oh, fucking wisdom right there, dude.
Do it on a workout day.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And then you get back to eating clean the next day, flush out all that nastiness, and that way you're gonna get top performance on that first day.
Yeah, you're not gonna feel all sluggish. Because I've noticed that, like, anytime I make a bad decision, I see it on my body and I feel it about a day and a half, 2 days after.
Yeah,
that's what I've noticed with my body. Like, oh, dude, you shouldn't have ate those 4 slices of pizza.
Exactly. And see, my cheat day is one meal. It's not all day long. It's a cheat meal. Not a cheat day.
Damn, a cheat hour.
Yes.
A cheat 2020, or you inhale it, huh?
Yeah.
You've been thinking about it all week. You just down it.
Exactly. Like, I'm thinking about going to Panda Express tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, Saturday. Yes.
So I might go and then I'll stop at Walmart and get me some cookies.
Oatmeal raisin? What are we talking here?
Well,
macadamia?
If they've got the pumpkin spice ones. It's like,
oh, shit. Bro, I love pumpkin spice. People can talk all the shit they want. I love pumpkin spice.
Oh, and them cookies at Walmart are amazing. Oh. Because they got the white chocolate chip chunks in them. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, white chocolate's great. Do you smash them all? Do you bring the rest back to the gym with you? Like, what are you doing here?
I only buy a pack of 3.
Oh, damn, that's some restraint right there.
Yeah. Well, if I buy the whole thing, I'm gonna eat it all.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
So yeah, that's why Saturdays are just like a cheat hour. Mm-hmm. Just that one meal, and then I'll. Saturday night, I'll start eating clean again.
Yeah, good.
It's just to get that craving out of my system.
Yeah, you have to not entertain it, but you have to kind of feed that little tickle. The only way I could refer to it, or else it'll just grow into this big thing.
It'll fester into it.
Yeah, and it becomes like a weekend, a binge. Yeah.
Yes.
Woo. You got to be weary on that.
Yeah, and then you're totally off the rails with it then. And then you have to be like, oh, crap, I've got to get back on this.
Yeah.
And then stress and life happens.
Yes.
Stress. And then all of a sudden you're like, a month later, you're still eating shit. You're still on your last cheat day.
Oh, yeah.
You're feeding that cravings.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm just like, one meal, my body can enjoy it, but then it's all back to eating healthy.
Yeah, and then at that point, your body's on a cycle too. So, I guess the body kind of has a mind of its own per se. So, it may be not primed for it.
Yeah,
but there has to be something there. Come on.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like all the bacteria in your stomach and in your intestines is just waiting. They're like, hold on, boys. Yeah. It's Friday night.
Exactly. 12 more hours and we can feast.
Yeah. They come out and then, then they get what they need and then they go back into their caves and wait for next week.
Yeah. And you learn to appreciate them cheat meals more.
Yeah. And that's what I've told people about, like their microbiome, the gut bacteria. Like,
oh yeah,
it's not just your mind that you're battling. It's not that your cravings aren't up here. There's more organisms, more bacteria in your stomach and your intestines than there are cells in your body. Like,
yeah, so you need to shock them.
You're your own universe. So when you're having a craving for McDonald's or a pizza, it's not you. It's that. So when you're trying to break a diet, that's why it's so hard, because there's organisms in there that are requiring that energy, that food source
exactly
that they've been living off of, and that's why it's so hard for somebody to take, like, to stay true. So it's like, hey, you can slip up every now and then when you first start, because it's not just you, it's everything going on down here.
Well, that's just like everyone that I've talked to say, oh, I can't break my soda habit. I'm like, do you know what you're craving?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's the sugar. I was like, no, it's the carbonation. Your body is used to having that carbonation in it. It's using it to fuel the mixture of the bacteria inside the stomach. I go, you go, instead of having soda, grab a sparkling water.
Yeah.
See what the difference is. Halftime, it was right. The carbonation is what my body needed. Okay. That's like, I'll drink bubbly. I love the cherry flavored bubbly. And because I used to drink soda all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's how I broke out of drinking soda so much.
Okay.
It's the carbonation that is what your body's craving.
And look at you now, alkaline water.
Exactly. In coffee. That's all I live off of. I mean, it's, and once in a while I have one energy drink a week.
What do you, can you sponsor a brand? Can we ask for a sponsorship right here? Who are you drinking?
I'd like the Rain sour apple.
Rain? I don't think I've heard of Rain.
Yeah.
Where do you find it?
We have it at the gym.
You would direct me to your gym. All right, I'll have to try one. What is it? Firewater?
No, it's Rain, and it's sour apple.
Sour. Where Firewater come from?
I don't know.
That's tequila. That's moonshine.
I was like, dang, someone's
Mezcal.
got Friday night on their brain.
My aunt is in town and she's a party animal. And she's like, you want to go out tonight? I was like, oh, I went hard on Sunday. I told you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. was a complete blur. And I was out till 4. So I'll tell you that. Yeah. It was craziness. Fuck, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Boom, back. This red eye's finally kicking in.
All right.
No, my wife is the same. She's coffee doesn't do anything for her except make her poop. Like that's it. So she'll drink it when she's like, let me get this going, right? But if during the day, if she needs a pick me up, she'll get a Dr. Pepper, drink half of it, half a can, and then she's done. But that is her like, boom, I'm right back in it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's, it's the combination of the carbonation and, the sugar that's in there or whatnot, but that's what works for her as far as caffeine goes.
Yeah.
Like
that's
coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And I'll get that maybe when I have a really long day. When I do, 16 to 18 sessions in a day, it's like, I need a little pick me up.
Yeah. Yeah. You do. And sugar is a great source of energy. It is.
It is. I mean,
but we abuse it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We kind of consume it too much.
Well, and it's such a good source of energy that we have no choice. Like, again, like your body craves it. It's like more of this because when we evolved, it didn't know the next time it was going to get a source of energy like this. Correct. So that's why it's like just get as much as you can because we don't know when the next one is.
Yeah, that's why I recommend, my analogy is that if you crave potato chips, go to grapes.
Okay.
Because you can't just eat one potato chip. Same thing with grapes. You can't just eat one grape.
Yeah, for sure. And you have to pour yourself like more than you would want to.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're like, they're still going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I have my sports drink, I spread it out throughout the day. I just don't down it.
Yeah.
A can of Rain will last me my 8-hour shift.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
I won't finish it until about 9 o'clock. And I'll buy it about 1.
You know what I had today? I broke my fast at 12. I know you hate hearing this. Broke my food fast at 12. But I had an apple, one of those new crisp, honey crisp apples. Yeah. Ooh, was that good? Like that, just the sugar straight from the apple.
Fructose,
yeah. And I hadn't ate since I think like 6:30 the night before. So it was a good, what's that? Almost 18 hours, is that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that initial just like, oh, there was nothing better than that in that moment. No candy bar is going to give me that because I knew it was natural.
Yeah, it's a simple sugar so your body can process it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to sit there and digest it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Put you down. Put you down. That itis that people talk about.
Yep. And we'll see it. I can't remember who did this study. I think it was UCal. A couple of years ago, they did it with truck drivers. and they found out the truck drivers that were eating or drinking apple juice or eating an apple around 3:00 in the afternoon, their alertness went up.
Ooh, okay.
So it was just from that fructose.
That I guess, well, you know, apple juice, because that's just the concentrated what you're going to get out of an apple.
Yeah.
Obviously, eating an apple is better because your body has to break down the fiber.
Exactly.
But yeah, that natural sugar is definitely better.
Yeah. So, and it just helped carry them over until they ate dinner. So that's good, you know, especially that's what we want them, being alert on the road. We don't need them, you know.
Yeah, or else those self-driving semis are taking over.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, it's only a matter of time, but you know, the goal is, you know, safety.
Safety
more
first.
People not dying, whatnot. Did you almost become a trucker or what?
No.
Couldn't do it.
I've got truck drivers in the family, but I couldn't do it.
You know,
I'm too antsy for it. I don't have the patience to be sitting in that cab.
Yeah.
I've got to be moving.
You'd be one of those truck drivers that's like weaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta get there.
Yeah. It'd be like, I can't get there. I'm tired. Or I would have to be pulled over about every hour to be running around my truck.
So who's your least favorite person at work? No, I'm just messing. So you, back to stunt doubles.
Yeah.
You had a very good role in a famous show on FX.
Yeah.
I should have repositioned the camera because I didn't know you were going to be leaning this much, but go ahead and give the people a really good view of that mug right there.
Guess who I was?
So you were Opie's stunt double.
Yeah.
And basically every time he was riding,
yes,
it had to be you because it was in his contract.
Well, state of California don't allow you to be on a motorcycle without a license.
Okay.
And so I did have a motorcycle license at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we're the same build, height, everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, can you ride? And I was like, yeah. So and they're like, we need these 2 scenes. So I was in it for 2 scenes.
You got it.
Yeah. But that's also why you'll see him with long sleeves, because I'm fully tatted. He's not.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But otherwise, I mean, we both had long hair, beards.
Yeah.
Look identical.
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, when it's a, you know, a cutaway or certain angles there.
Yeah, that's why they don't. If you watch, it was never really straight on. It was always from the right or the left or from a back angle or something.
Well, especially because you were like, I'm on Sons of Anarchy.
Exactly. I was smiling. I was like, hell yeah, look at me go. But then he went and got his motorcycle license.
Oh, he did end up getting it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right.
And then they used someone else to do his actual stunt riding when he had to do high-speed chases and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Someone that had more experience in that than I did.
Yeah, well, I would hope. I mean, you probably had your hand up, you savage, but shit.
Oh, I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I can loosen the shoulder up another 2 times.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, you were talking about that you have been told that you should do a podcast.
Yes.
And that, you know, you're like, well, I could reach out to like a lot of the people that I met during your journey, you know, in the biz, in the businesses and the careers that you've led.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely do it.
I'm thinking about it now. This is fun.
It is fun, right?
It is. It's fun.
You just got to stay in front of the mic.
Oh, yeah.
That's the hardest part because you get like relaxed and you're like rolling around and then it's like, hey. Yeah. You should do it. One thing that you were very passionate about, because we were talking about this a few weeks ago, was you've done a lot of work with military.
Correct.
Training them and whatnot. And you've wanted to bring awareness to you know, depression, PTSD, and just all the battles. You know, they sign up to fight for our country, and then when they come back, we're not doing the best that we could by them. We're not doing right by them.
Correct. And we've got that society thing to where we pay homage to like the Kardashians and stuff like this. don't even relate to us. They don't even do anything for us. And then we got guys that go and get themselves blown up for us.
Yeah.
Without hesitation. And it's like, come on, if you guys will pay money to buy their clothing and all this other horse shit, but yet you're not willing to help a veteran out, then we really need to rethink and relook at society.
Well, our society praises the American dream, and technically the Kardashians came into wealth and fame, which is what everybody hopes for. That's the American dream, right?
Yeah.
The measure of a society isn't how rich, how wealthy the richest people are. No. It's how are we treating the poor, and especially the people that sacrificed, a lot for the country.
And it's just not the ones that are blown up.
Yeah.
And coming back. It's the one everyday life ones too that come back normal, that have all their appendages. They have everything. They've never been burned, but they still have the mental scars.
Yeah, which cut deeper, I think, than the physical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's still mental scars when you're physically,
exactly.
That happens to you. But when you see some just not the true side of human, but what we're capable of, and how savage we can become when we're pushed to those limits. Like anybody, like that's one of my thing about like when people use Nazis as like the greatest like insult, like, oh, that person's a Nazi. For you to think that it's not possible for you to be pushed to become somebody serving under Hitler, like it's all possible for us to do that. Given the right circumstances, you could be pushed and mended to become to be somebody that falls in line, especially if you got a family. I don't know who it was, but there's a saying out there that's like, give a man a wife and and kids, and you can control him, because at that point you can. They're hostages.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't realize. A lot of the Nazi soldiers were forced to fight.
Yeah.
They weren't volunteering to do it.
It's death. And when you're confronted with death, I mean, a lot of people aren't, and they're going to, well, I'll choose to live. At the end of the day, then you start dressing it up. I'm just following orders. Maybe these people are vile. Maybe they are scum, and this needs to be cleansed, or whatever they're thinking. But my whole thing is like to just label them as monsters, and like, oh, I can never become that. Like that's dangerous. Like because you could easily become that. Like you that can happen to just about anybody.
Yeah, and it's just not the military people I'm talking about that have PSD. It's also our civic servants, police officers, fire,
EMT, paramedics,
even ER personnel,
hazmat nurses.
Exactly.
Everything.
They all are having these issues.
People that work in homes, whether it's retirement homes or mental facility homes, or just assisted living homes, like you're dealing with the extremes of people in like worst case scenario, So there's stress that you can come under that it's not easy to deal with, and not a lot of people search for help.
Yeah, and that's why you don't hear it on the news or anything like that, but almost every day a firefighter in the world commits suicide because of the stress they're under.
Yeah. Well, I was studying to become a firefighter, and my whole thing, I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna be like saving like these hot girls at the mall, this and that. And then it's like I was volunteering, and it's like, yo, it's a
different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame, man. And you got the lonely people that call 911 and just need help or help. They just want somebody to visit them.
Yeah.
And it's like you're doing a big community service as a firefighter.
Exactly.
What I experienced. And again, like especially with cops, but like you see your interactions with the public when you're on duty is usually at the worst like moment in their in their lives, for sure, at least that month or that year,
Yeah, see, a lot of people don't understand that, or they only see it in the news when a civil servant is done wrong, or they're under investigation for doing something wrong. You don't see them. I see all these articles on Facebook where a police officer will visit a low-income family and bring them, meals, or play soccer with them, play basketball with them, or even break out and dance with them.
Breakdance, I saw that breakdancing one. That was cool.
Exactly. You don't see that on the news. And so that's why all these civil servants have a negative outlook on them. They're tagged with the stigma of they're no good.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
Well, because it's promoted. And like people talk about that, like social media, like apps and stuff, like it's evil, or it's engineered to like keep us hating each other. And it is, but it isn't. It's not willingly or forcefully engineered to be that way. They just set up an algorithm to just say, hey, let's keep these people coming back and hooked to your tablet, your phone, your computer. And what gets people more into something or riled up, but then getting angry. So that's why the news, you want to tune in because what I got to worry about, what messed up thing happened this day. Like I need to know these things on what to be prepared for. So it's the fear and, I can't believe this person said this, or this person believes that. So it's that's what keeps people coming back. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that it's like, hey, let's push this negative stuff. It's, hey, let's figure out a way. We'll set up the algorithm to kind of keep people coming back to the app and whatnot. And I mean, you have a good experience at Panda Express. Yeah. Cool. I got my stuff. That's how it should go, right? You have a negative experience, everybody's going to know about it. Correct. You're going to go online, you're going to go to Yelp, you're going to do Google reviews.
You're going to video everything.
Yeah, it's just that is naturally what happens. The negative aspect gets blown up and the positive, well, I mean, that's how it should have gone. So cool.
Yeah, that's what they expect it to go. But as soon as a negative happens, it's like, oh, check this out. This is all police are bad now. Or did you hear about the firefighter that stole all that guy's weed? It's like, no, that's a rare occasion.
It's a rare occasion, and it's a person that made a poor decision in that moment, and people forget that.
Yes.
And in this day and age, there's nothing you can do or say when you mess up publicly like that.
Oh yeah.
For people to forgive you. It's they want your head. And it's the modern day, mob.
Yeah, the trolls out there.
It's the modern day, let's show up to a lynching. Let's all go out to the park, not to the park, but to the city square, the town square. And you got 3 people that are going to, that was entertainment. Yeah. So people talk about how violent like TV shows and whatnot. I was like, no, we would literally show up to watch gladiators, to watch a shootout. Like people literally died.
Well, in like the Middle East, they still have the stoning.
Oh my God,
public stoning
and throwing gay people off of rooftops.
Yeah, it's
atheist journalists are getting murdered left and right. Like just opposing views. And that's the problem when what you believe, it's hard to put this in the right context, but like one of my most recent podcasts was he is a chaplain at the Children's Hospital, but he was he went to college and found God when it's usually the other way around. He was so messed up beforehand, but he thought that when he became Christian and he accepted Jesus, that he had to be a Republican. He's like, well, I just think that like that's what it is, right? Like I'm Christian now and I vote Republican. I'm conservative here. I'm this and I'm that, because people get attached to those ideologies. And it's like, if I find out that somebody is pro-life or pro-choice, well then I can really see where you're going to fall in line on everything else. Yeah. And then people get attached to that. So if you disagree with that, if you say it's like, oh, you're pro-life, well I'm pro-choice, I think this, and then it's like, why do you hate me? And it's like, no, I don't hate you or disagree with you per se.
Yeah, that's when the walls and barriers come up.
Yeah, they just come up and you get defensive instead of trying to understand. That's the thing we lack, is trying to understand.
Yeah, because so many people and I hear it all the time, is I don't like people. People irritate me. So that's why I shop online. That's like, well, go and interact with people and figure out what their personalities are. Find out what's going on. You never know who your next best friend's going to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, get out there, meet people. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what's bringing this society down.
Yeah, we're as connected as these phones allow us to be, they disconnect us from the people right next to us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I maybe talked to like 3 of our neighbors, 3 of the neighbors on our block, and it's not that often. Like, it's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And I've lived there for 5 years. It's the unfortunate thing, which is I've been meaning to read. Is it Carl? No, Younger. I know it's Younger. I don't know his first name, but he has a book. He was a wartime journalist, but he talks about how people just need to experience adversity, and like low income and poor neighborhoods, like they're more cohesive and more connected because they have to rely on each other a lot more than affluent neighborhoods. Google like the statistics, suicide rate for affluent neighborhoods, like well off suburb families, which that's what most people hope for, right?
Right.
Let me get into the burbs, have a well paying job, white picket fence, nice family, and dude, they're abusing prescription drugs like no other demographic.
Exactly.
And the suicide rate is just huge because they're all secluded.
Yeah, especially amongst teenagers in them families. Mm-hmm. Because that's when they're like, oh, they don't like me in high school. They bully me, all this stuff.
And then it follows them because everybody has a social media account.
Exactly. They can't get away from it.
You can't.
And so it's just like, well, we need to change society then.
Yeah, the outlook. We have to come from a point of trying to understand the other person and realize that, I don't know, man. Realize that, nobody, for the most part, is really against you as an individual. Like, you can line up a room with 20 different ideologies and you search for something that you have in common instead of trying to pick out, like, why should I not like you?
Exactly.
There it is. Yeah, I don't like you.
Well, that's like what they say with, like when they did a research with a nursery. And they put all different races of babies in this nursery, play area. And they found that everyone got along just fine. They weren't singling each other out. They weren't, they didn't see skin color. Mm-hmm. They didn't see their religion. They didn't see how they vote. Mm-hmm. They just seen each other as humans.
Yeah, you got 2 eyes, a mouth, a nose, 2 arms, 2 legs. Like, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. That's how society needs to go back to. Mm-hmm. Let's forget about all this other shit.
Yeah. Not forget it in the sense of like you lose like your culture.
No.
Yeah, I know that's not what you're getting at, but I don't want people to think that that's what it is. Because I think you should definitely be proud of your heritage and your culture.
Oh, hell yeah. But respect, still, honor each other's.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Because don't lose your culture where it becomes watered down, because the U.S. can have a tendency of doing that because we assimilate, to fit in, because you're going to do that with any culture. I mean, I moved to Russia. I'm going to assimilate to a lot of their traditions,
exactly
how they act. You got to fit in to an extent, but then I can use that opportunity to also to teach them about the U.S., Arizona, Mexico. Like this is where I'm from. Like here's a little bit of me. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they can appreciate it. And I think most people would. I actually had a customer, and she had an accent, an obvious like Eastern European Russian accent. And I go, oh yeah, where are you from? And she goes, kind of stuttered a little bit, like hesitated. She's like, Los Angeles. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask her again in a little bit, right? So I got her a little bit more comfortable with me, and then And then I asked her, I was like, I know you say you're from LA, but where are you from? And she kind of like hesitated. She's like, Russia. And I can just imagine that maybe she feels like she'll get a little bit of hate because Russia is so negative in the news right now. But I was like, why? Why am I going to have this, idea on you because of something you have no involvement in?
Exactly.
It's not affecting me right now. Maybe that's me being naive. No, you should not like them because of this. But no, like she was another person and we shared a common interest. She was there to purchase a musical instrument. Mm-hmm. I'm there to sell a musical instrument. I love music. You have I don't know if it's an affinity. She was a beginner, but I'm like, hey, welcome. How can I help you? I'm very interested to know, about culture. Like anytime somebody has an accent, I try to like guess it. Like there's this lady that came in and she had a southern accent. Not southern. No, not that. Like more south.
Oh,
think about Eastern Hemisphere South.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's either Australian, South African. I don't think it's South African. That sounds like Mark Hunt from the UFC. And so I go, I said, so are you a Kiwi? And she goes, yes. Like she was like just stoked. She's like, nobody ever guesses that. And I'm like, I try. I love geography, so I try to like, pinpoint it. Yeah. And she was so stoked. And I was like, cool. Like, what brought you here? What, what's this? Like, tell me a little bit about your story. Which again, why brings us here? Why you're sitting here? Because I'm very curious about you. And but I try to make everybody as comfortable as possible, which is why I'm mobile. Like I was telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to go to where you're going to be comfortable because I think that creates a better interaction between us.
And I don't care where I'm at.
I know. Again, you're a savage. And I mean that with the utmost respect.
Oh, yeah. I take it no other way than...
Yeah.
It's just that I may not like what you are about, but I'm not going to disrespect you.
Yeah.
For who you are. Mm-hmm. I want to find out what's going on. Why do you think these ways? Mm-hmm. And that's going back to with the Nazis. They did I think it was a French reporter was talking to a company of Nazi soldiers back during the war, and he was asking them why they were there and stuff, and they were like, and what they did before they were involved in the war. A lot of them were farmers. Yeah. There were some bankers and shop owners and stuff like that. And he got to know them on that level. And both walls were coming down thin because they could relate. They could talk to each other like humans. They're not enemies anymore. And that's what I really like about what's going on in the world right now. Yes, there's a lot of wars, but I think it's because we're trying to figure out how we can help each other. Mm-hmm. Where are our boundaries with each other? I think there's not very many religious wars anymore, per se, except for in the Middle East, but whenever the U.S. gets involved, it's never about religion. And that's because we're just trying to help one society get free from another society. And so I think that we're on the right track. A lot of people are frowning about our military actions mm-hmm. and stuff, but I think we're doing more good than harm.
Well, you talk to the people again, the foot soldiers, mm-hmm. and they have their idea on why they're there.
Yeah.
You talk to the people maybe at the top making more strategic moves, and their reasoning is going to be a little bit different.
Exactly.
Ultimately, I think everybody serving is there to do what they feel is the right thing.
Yes.
And that's all you can hope for, is that people are their actions are being promoted from the right place.
Yeah.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's all intention.
Like, no ill will, no malice.
Yeah, you always have to take into what did that person intend mm-hmm. by sharing this information with me, or their actions. And if you could try to understand that, you might even realize that they didn't even realize themselves how they were behaving or why they made a certain decision. It's, again, all these other life factors that go into that. And I think like you were saying, like, I don't really care how, what you believe, as long as it's like, you're not being an asshole about it, I guess, like in the sense of like a true racist, like just somebody that just, there's no connecting to them. There are those handful of people out there.
Oh yeah.
But I think it just comes down to them taking the time to interact with who they are trying to vilify. Mm-hmm. And then just realize, like, God damn it, we're the same.
Yeah.
We're the same.
We still bleed red.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter what else it is, we still bleed red.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, what race, demographic, whatever, your political views, it all comes down to we still all bleed red.
Yeah.
And we need to take care of each other.
Yeah, and we also have loved ones that we care for. And when you start to relate that way, I think Immortal Technique, if you've ever heard of him, he's a very thought-provoking, I would say, and sometimes like really brutal lyricist, rapper.
Yeah.
But he has a song where he has a lyric where it says like, some people tell me that the rebels in Iraq still fight for Saddam, but I'll tell you that's bullshit and why it's totally wrong. Because if another country invaded the hood tonight, like it'd be war, and it wouldn't be fighting at the time Bush was president. And it's like I wouldn't be fighting for Bush. I'd be fighting for the people next to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like when you break it down that way, that you have to see that from the opposite view. If we're in their country and this is going down, like they're also fighting for the people next to them, the family and the sisters.
Yeah, they don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, there's bigger political moves there, and unfortunately, too many innocents get caught in the crossfire.
Exactly, and like with Iraq, when we after 9/11, we invaded and all this stuff. Well, Iraq doesn't have an internet like we do.
Yeah, not on our level at all.
And
and back then, yeah, shit.
And so they didn't know what's going on. They didn't have news stations like we do. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what happened to our towers. And all of a sudden, they're seeing all these tanks, all these airplanes flying overhead, shooting down other airplanes.
Yeah.
They're like, what's going on? They're just thinking we're invading them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were. They didn't. Saddam didn't say, "Hey, guess what we're doing?"
Yeah.
And Bin Laden didn't say, "Hey guys, we're going to go do this, so be prepared."
Yeah, no big broadcast. They don't all have smart watches where it's like, what's going on? Oh, okay.
Exactly. And so when we did invade, a lot like you were saying, they're like, "What's going on?" Well, we need to fight these invaders. Mm-hmm. They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And so they were just acting like humans. Yeah. They were protecting their families, protecting their neighbor. You and I would be doing the same thing if Mexico or Canada invaded. Mm-hmm. Or if Russia came over and just all of a sudden started landing on our airstrips and 20 million tanks came out.
Yeah.
We'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
If we're not standing there on the front lines when they first come in and we're throwing the first stone, we don't know what's going on.
No.
We would react.
Yeah, you would react. It's like I picture just, somebody like, a few people running in like the supermarket at Walmart or something. A few people running. It's like, well, what's going on here? Oh shit. Okay. Well, I got to start running, right? And so you just fall in line because that's going to be natural. You're going to need to move with the group to survive.
Mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cattle mentality.
Yeah.
You just go with the herd.
Yeah, because I guess statistically, you're going to be better off.
Protection.
When you follow. Yeah. There's strength in numbers, security, all that. Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then, after, like probably about 2 years after we had boots on the ground is when all the smaller tribes in Iraq figured out what was going on because we explained to them what was going on, and then they became our allies. But at first, they didn't trust us. I don't blame them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and all the military leaders say the same thing. They didn't know what was going on. They were just going by what, save my community.
Yeah, look to your left, look to your right. What's that guy doing? Fall in line, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's,
That's good, man. That's good. It got a little deep there. So you're from South Dakota, right?
Yeah.
You grew up attending Sturgis?
Yeah, Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
Which is why you had a license.
Yeah.
Was that wild? Like, how old were you when you first went to a Sturgis rally?
Oh, geez. Probably like 5 years old.
Damn, so you saw your first titty at 5, huh?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was back in the 80s when it was at the wildest.
Yeah, right. That would have been. Because when was that big shootout in Texas? Biker gangs. I know that's not necessarily related, but was that like early 90s?
Was it in Texas or are you talking about the one that happened up in Laughlin, Nevada?
Might have been that one.
And that was in about 99?
Laughlin, huh? Damn.
Yeah. There was a big one out in the casinos up there because it was during their Laughlin run. It's sort of like a motorcycle rally.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a mini one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was...
I don't remember about that one. I know my parents ended up going to Laughlin every summer, I want to say. So I would go going. I want to say I started in like 97, 99, right in that range. But I never heard about that one specifically. I don't know. My parents would have gone if they did. Was it at the Colorado Bell? That's where we stayed.
I think it might have been.
It might have been. It sounds like the Colorado Bell would have been one to pop off.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there was a motorcycle club that got in it with the local law enforcement out in Texas.
Yeah, that was more recent, right?
That was...
like 5 years ago?
I think it was like 2008, 2010, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And see, Sturgis, it's it's the only place that all gangs have, or motorcycle clubs, sorry, is got a neutral truce. So
that's cool.
No one can claim it.
Okay.
Because everyone goes there to have fun.
Kind of like the moon or Antarctica.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's on the same levels.
Yeah. That's good, man. Yeah, it should just be like a good old... That's the first Burning Man. That was Burning Man before Burning Man was Burning Man,
yeah,
right?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially at like Buffalo Chip, Campground, and, some of the big ones out there like that. It's a free-for-all, no man's land kind of
that had to... So you... Did you go every year?
Pretty much, yeah.
So that had to have a big influence on your young mind and molded you in a way, seeing how...
Correct. But also it showed me that not all bikers were assholes.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
There were some great guys. I mean, they looked rough and tumble and,
it's
burly.
A family unit. At the end of the day, it's a family unit. They're relying on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't disrespect them,
we're back to respect, dude. It's exactly what it is.
They'll sit down and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times I would just say, "Hey, what's going on?" or whatnot. They would just sit and talk to me like a human because I respected them. I treated them like a human, and it was great, to see their perspective on things.
Yeah, that's so good. That and the people are just usually open to have a conversation. We just have it in our minds that, people don't, I get it. Sometimes you're like, I just want to get in and get out. Like, I don't want to interact, right? Or whatnot. But like, I picture myself all the time at the grocery store, like, making eye contact with people and smiling whenever I can, cause it's just like, I just feel weird, like walking in there and just like avoiding
being like a robot.
Yeah, man. I try to like, hi, hello, like, and I freak some people out sometimes where I'm like, hello, good morning, like,
oh yeah.
I get up there and the cashier is having a conversation with the person in front of me. And then I get up there and he's all, right. And I'm like, dude, I love to talk. Like the other person wasn't having it. Like he's over here like trying to like make a joke or something.
Oh, yeah.
And that person isn't having it. But he felt like he could relate to that person. When in actuality, he could have talked to me about anything and I would have entertained it.
Oh, I get that all the time because of my looks are intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 6'3", 250, you know, tattooed, long hair, big beard. And no one wants to talk to me, but yet I'm one of the nicest guys you'll ever find.
For sure. I feel, I mean, I'm not as big as you. I'm getting there. But,
well, stay with me and you will.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, I'm just like, we could have, like, I love throwing people off. Like, I'm sure you do too, where it's like, oh, I didn't expect that, I didn't expect to have a conversation like that or this interaction. Like I love throwing people off.
Oh yeah.
They visually they're just like, oh, I kind of got this guy figured out. Okay, cool. It's like, no, you don't.
Well, it's like at work, they, whenever we get talking about, about any subject and they're like, oh, here comes the human Google. And they're talking to me because I can be like, yeah, this happened or, whatever. I can talk about
You got the experience, man. You've moved around. You've been in many different careers and that's experience and wisdom.
Yeah. And I love it because I can converse with anyone.
Yes. Yeah.
I can carry on a conversation and it doesn't have to be about stuff I know. Mm-hmm. It could be stuff I want to learn about.
Not only that, but it's like seeing people light up talking about what they love. Mm-hmm. That's what's intoxicating.
This passion.
Yeah, is like, let me find out what this person is. And like when I meet somebody, like I try not to ask like, what do you do? Or if I do ask, what do you do? They're like, oh, I work here. No. I get that. That's cool. All right. But what do you like to do? When you're not getting paid to do it, like what's a passion of yours or what's an interest, like a serious interest? Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then just watch them go.
That's, how I approach when people seem depressed or they don't like their job. It's like, well, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, I want to start my own business. Okay. What's your passion? Well, it probably won't make me money. It's like, any and every passion will make you $1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just have to find the right market for it. Yeah. I mean, you just have to put the time and effort, sweat equity into it. Yeah. And it will make a living for you.
And I mean, is working in what you love and maybe making $30,000 a year versus working somewhere you don't making $80,000, like what? And you're just hating it.
Yeah, you're miserable. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, I would rather go and sit at a desk 8 hours a day. Hate my life.
And you're still working paycheck to paycheck. You just got maybe a little bit of a nicer house, a little bit of a nicer car. And what? Hey, you're not talking to your neighbors. Ain't nobody coming over.
Exactly. You're miserable. Yeah. And you're like, that's when I tell them, well, let's get you into your happiness. Mm-hmm. Let's find your happiness. Let's do that. Yeah. And that's when I was a business consultant, that's what I mainly did was, well, what makes you happy? Well, it just won't make me money. It's like, how do you know that? Have you tried? No, I just don't think it'll make me money. I was like, well, look at all the people on Etsy. Yeah. Look at all the people on Pinterest. They're making some good money. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's making doilies. Make them, sell them, and you'd be surprised how many people like handcrafted materials.
Yeah, for sure.
And go to the bazaars, go to the arts and craft places, and sell them. Yeah. People will buy them. And that's when you're going to be like, it's going to be slow start. Mm-hmm. Don't expect to make $1 million the first year.
No. Don't expect to make money the first 3 years.
Exactly. But your happiness, that's where you can put value into it. Yeah. Is finding your happiness. I mean, just like you love doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
you're probably not making anything off of it.
I don't know.
But it brings a smile to your face.
It does. And I love to hear people are like, oh, I found that guest really interesting, or I learned this. And at the end of the day, I'm learning from you. So it's only going to help to improve me anyways.
It enriches your life. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I was consulting with one of my clients. He was a tattoo artist. He wasn't sure if he wanted to go on his own. I was like, why not make all that money yourself instead of only getting a percentage of that? I was like, you're charging $100 an hour. You're only getting 30 of it. That's $70 of your hard-earned time going to the owner of this shop.
Yeah.
Instead of lining your pockets. I go, are you happy here? Well, he's known, so he gets me clients.
It's stability. It's that stability.
Yeah. That's like, don't you think that your clients that you've built up over the years will follow you? Well, yeah. Okay, then. There you go.
And not only that, but just a well-written email, or preferably email, a little bit more professional, to your past clients. Hey, I'm going out on my own. I appreciated you guys coming and visited me here. It would mean the world to me if you would continue to seek my artwork, and if you could do me the ultimate favor of helping to promote me to friends and family.
Exactly.
That can go a long way, where it's like, I want to support this person.
Exactly. And a lot of times the public will go to them regardless.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, let's go and help him out. Mm-hmm. Let's, bring in some friends that want to get tattooed. And after we did that and I got him squared away, he was making more money and working less.
Yeah, I didn't working less because he was taking home 100%, or damn near 100% versus what he was before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he wasn't working as hard. He had better family life. His wife thanked me.
Yeah.
Because he was, instead of working, 60, 70 hours a week, he was working 30. He was going to the kids' soccer games.
Oh.
He was doing the family things.
That's awesome.
Because he was able to. He could set up his own schedule. Mm-hmm. He wasn't having to, okay, I only can work X amount of days and hours because that's what my boss told me to. And it goes for any office job. And you go with your passion. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
If your passion is to work in an office job, hey, power to you.
Yeah, but try and do it on your own. Especially with these tech markets.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they run out every 16 months, a new big company forms.
Yeah, seriously.
And so, because they only have a 3-year projection. Most businesses can project 5 and 7 years. 18 months to 3 years is what the projection of a tech company is.
Wow.
And so you might have the next best, a great thing for the tech industry. Mm-hmm. And so your boss will become your employee next. I've seen it many of times.
Yeah, that's badass.
It's like you never know until you go out and try. Mm-hmm. Put your product out in the market. And like I tell everyone, let the universe run your life. Don't try to run the universe.
Yeah.
And just go with it and see what you can do with it. Yeah, money's great, but in the long run, you can't take it with you.
You can't.
But you could take your happiness and knowing that you tried.
Yeah, money doesn't make it more comfortable or more happy. It makes you more comfortable, but you still have to find that happiness.
Correct.
Again, we back to the affluent neighborhoods,
Yeah.
They got the funds, but they're lacking.
Yeah, they're
in el corazón.
I don't know what you just said, but hey,
the heart.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just that sense of happiness.
Oh my God, yeah, I have that's an idea for a shirt, which I hope when I get it into production you'll wear, because I think it's great for people in the gym.
All right. Deal.
And it has to do with what we're talking about here.
Oh, good.
And depression, why I think a lot of the people are depressed. So it's. I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you off air. I don't want anybody to jump on it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, it's just find your happiness in life. Don't let someone else rain on your parade.
And don't let anybody else tell you what you should be happy about.
Exactly.
We're busy focusing on like what would other people, want to see me or want to do this or
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses. Exactly.
And instead of worrying about ourselves.
Yeah.
Taking care of our neighbor. Taking care of our community. That's the big thing.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's all we have. And that's why, like you said, we need to get back to.
Yeah.
We need to get back to that.
I miss, even being in this nice apartment complex.
Yeah, it's very nice.
There's no sense of community here. And I remember growing up in Rapid City, South Dakota. It's a small town. It's only 60,000 people. But our little neighborhood, every summer would have a neighborhood picnic. We'd shut the street down. Everyone would just have fun. It was great. I don't see that anymore.
Yeah, I think they've done it at my neighborhood like a couple times, and I haven't even gone. I've usually been at work, but it's still... that's something that we need to. Maybe you take it up, man. Come on,
I just might.
Yeah, right. Start posting stuff. You'll be hosting a little burpee session or something.
There we go. Yeah, just getting the community wealth and health back.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not always about money. It's that sense of pride, I think.
Yeah, take pride in your community and the people around you.
Yeah, help each other out.
Yeah, and taking pride in your work is really what I've been thinking about lately too. Where it's like, you're working a minimum wage job, but at the end of the day, you're still clocking in 30 to 40 to 50 hours at this job. You should still take pride in your work.
Exactly.
And then still find a way to, if you're not fully satisfied with it, make your way on out. Like you said, be your own boss. But still take pride in the work that you are signing up to do day in and day out. I just don't get where that idea came, why it got so popular, where I just don't care. I just don't care. Like that is not. I know it's cool to not care, but to me, no, that's not. Like it takes no energy to not care.
Yeah.
Like for you to truly,
Let me correct you. It takes more energy to not care than it does to care.
Okay.
Because it's just like frowning takes more muscles in your face than a smile does. So it's the same aspect. You have to put more energy into hatred.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Into hate. Yeah.
Than it is to, okay, I'm going to live the best life I can. And that's all that matters to me. I don't care what my neighbor's doing. He could be the biggest asshole, but I'm not going to disrespect him.
Yeah.
But it's just, you can make the best of every situation.
For sure, which is what I always try to do. One of the things that I'm just the go with the flow type person, which is, again, comes back to like my training and my diet and whatnot. But you have to, I guess what I'm just trying to say is you have to learn to kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow, and make the most out of every situation instead of, beating yourself up when it doesn't go according to plan.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember who said this. Someone probably will. You got to roll with the punches and just dodge the ones you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to get hit with the shit.
Yeah, you're going to get hit. Yeah. Well, what's it? Life is 20% what happens to you and 80% how you handle it or your outlook or, what are you going to do about it? Okay, so this happened. Cool. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It's not, don't be harping on, this happened. Yeah, there's going to be that moment where you kind of have to assess it and take it in. And then it's like, okay, go time. What's my next move?
Yeah. Don't complain unless you have a solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're just a whiner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a moper. I mean, if I make a comment or a suggestion, it's because there's an issue. Mm-hmm. And this is how I feel we can resolve that issue.
Yeah, come prepared with a couple of bullet points. Mm-hmm. Maybe not a whole Excel or what's that? Fucking PowerPoint. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Nailed it. Yeah. You don't need to come through like that, but just have a couple of suggestions.
Exactly.
Yeah. Instead of just, there's those people that just complain. It's like, okay, so what do you think we should do? I don't know. I don't like this.
Yeah. It's like, well, then.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Okay, next. We need, just going back to passion and pride.
Yeah.
If you don't take pride in your work, you're going to be depressed. You're not going to put 100% into your job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
not only is your job going to suffer, but you're ultimately going to suffer because you're, on the extreme, you're living a lie. On the extreme. That's a little extreme saying that, but it's no other way to put it. You're faking yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what?
Yeah. A paycheck.
For short gain for just that moment. In the long term, you're dying a little inside.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, ooh, why am I here? Ooh, why am I not getting that promotion?
Mm-hmm.
Because you haven't proven yourself.
Yeah.
You haven't enjoyed every day of that job.
Yeah, that's Jocko Willink coming out. It's like, you didn't get that promotion? Cool. It's time for you to get better. It gives you more time to get better.
Exactly.
And if you do feel like it went to the wrong person, it's only a matter of time before they're out, and then you have your other chance to kind of pick right in. Mm-hmm. Like his saying is, something bad happened? Good. This allows for this.
Yep.
Good.
It wasn't the right promotion for you. Mm-hmm. So you never know. Next week there will be a new job listing that's more up your lines.
Yeah.
Or a new and interesting job. Instead of sitting at a desk, you're actually testing the products. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you're leading the test products. You're no longer sitting at that desk. So you never know.
Yeah. Just continue working and trying to improve.
Maybe your boss sees you in that role instead of this one that you got passed by for. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have some bigger plans for you. Yeah. You don't know unless you ask. Also, talk to your boss. Say, how come I didn't get that promotion? And they'll tell you.
Yeah, what can I do it would give you the game plan right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, just like with my training, if I won't know unless you ask. I'm
true.
not a mind reader.
So true.
It's like you just can't sit there in silence and mope.
Yeah.
And be depressed and be like, why didn't I get that promotion? Why didn't I get that car? Why didn't I get that house? Go ask that person. Don't be afraid. What are they going to say? Oh, you're fired? No. And if they do fire you for the asking,
then
you don't need to be there.
Exactly.
There's other jobs. Hell, McDonald's pays $15 an hour now.
Do they? Hell yeah. I mean get it where you can, right? I mean, somebody has to fulfill that role.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that it might just be temporary until you do find something. Mm-hmm. Who cares? It's money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Nothing against fast food.
No.
I'm seeing more and more 20-plus-year-olds working there than the teenagers.
I mean, you have to go where you're going to get hired. You have to go, continue putting out, where you want to go and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you have to, in that moment, take what you can and then start building off of that.
Just like with me, I wasn't afraid to quit and start another job.
No, you weren't. Hell no.
I wasn't afraid to try something out of the box.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I put myself out of my comfort zone just to try things.
Yeah.
It's like, just like this tonight. I've never done this. I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, you're doing great.
So it's, that's what I mainly tell everyone. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
when
it'll
you stay in
build.
your comfort zone,
You're not growing.
you're not growing, and that's when depression hits.
Yeah.
That's when your dissatisfaction hits. Mm-hmm. You got to get out of that comfort zone. You know, especially like with the gym. When someone comes in, I go, the biggest accomplishment of that day is getting through them front doors.
Yeah. People don't realize that.
And it's just like they're getting you out of that comfort zone.
Because they think, I think I tried to make this point earlier. I don't know if I did. Apologize if you've made it this far and still, and I made this point anyways. But people think that they have to go all out all the time. Like, oh, I can't go to the gym unless I'm putting in 2 hours. Or I can't go to the gym because I can't bench this much. Or I can't work out this hard. Or I can't pick up an instrument because, you know, I can't play this song. It's like, just do what you can. And you're gonna get better from there. Like people, we have this expectations because of that return on investment, that quick, you know, I need it now.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. Yeah. If I can't perform at this level, like, oh, look at this person. Like when I was thinking about doing stand-up comedy, I was like, let me look up stand-up comedy, right? You know, I've always been a fan, obviously, but I was like, let me just type in and see what, you know, some of the acts are, you know, looking like. And I was like, damn, I can't do that. Man, they're good. But then I was like, wait, I'm going to an open mic. Let me look up open mic. And I was like, oh, I can definitely bomb that hard. Like, I can do that. So, you know, if you go up, like, I wouldn't have tried it if I didn't look up or if I didn't bother going to an open mic.
Yeah.
You know? But once you tell yourself, like, you don't need to go up there and kill, or you don't need to go to the gym and kill yourself. You don't need to perform a certain way. Just go and do what you can. Have fun. The rest will follow as long as you continue to put in the work.
Yeah. Well, just like last year when I decided to go and get certified as a wildland firefighter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 43 years old. I didn't think I could pass on everything, but I did. I did with flying colors.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you don't know until you try.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and next year is going to be my big challenge is I'm going to go and learn ballroom dancing.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? That's going to be my New Year's resolution. I'm going to go and learn how to ballroom dance.
Do it, man. Hell yeah.
You know, just like with your open mic and your comedy, you don't know until you try it.
Until you try it. And you know what I loved about that type of, I don't necessarily say that type of dancing, but I went out to Whiskey Row last week.
Yeah.
And they were doing, you know, country. It was country night. Obviously, it's a country bar. And they're doing, you know, their swing dancing. I'm not sure what they call it, right? So I'm sitting there for like, you know, a good like 5-10 minutes. And I'm seeing, you know, these couples dance. And then that song's over. The girl walks over with the guy. She was just dancing here. Another guy comes up and is like, hey, you want to dance? I was like, oh, shit. I was like, this is about to go like that guy. Like, this ain't going to happen, right? Because I'm so used to going to a regular club with top 40 music. You're dancing with somebody. You're trying to court that person, like you're especially because the dancing there, like here it was more like, you know, winding. I don't know what, you know, at a distance, you know, hugging a little bit, but it was more of an actual dance versus like in the club,
grinding,
pretty much, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's much more sexual in nature, than that. So that's what I'm used to. So it's like once you're dancing with the girl, it's kind of like, hey, whoa, this is.
That's like you marking your territory.
Yeah. I don't want to say that woman's my territory or property, but that's essentially what it kind of implies. And I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And then the girl just grabs the dude's hand, goes out there and dances. And then I see like people, they're just swapping. They're just dancing. And I just realized like these people are here to dance.
Yeah.
And it was very infectious because it was not new to me because I'm from the country. So I'm used to, you know, country music and norteño music where everybody dances, but a lot of stuff down there was couples, you know, and here it's young, good looking people, you know, and it's like you think I'm holding on to you. Yeah. It was so infectious that like 40 minutes in, I went up to this girl that was just dancing with like a bunch of people, and I was like, you got to teach me. I was like, I got rhythm, but I was like, I don't know how to do this. And she's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, they're all about the fun.
Yeah, and it was, and then there's like people are like, all right, see you next week, like this and that. And then the girl was like, hey, Tuesdays at Dave and Buster, 8 p.m. I was like, I got a workout session with Mark at 9, so I can't really make it. But I was like, thanks for the invite. But she was like, come out, learn, and we'll see you back out here. Like, it was definitely interesting to see. So I'm glad that you're, stepping out of your box. Doing some ballroom dancing. Yeah. Maybe you show me something after one of our workout sessions.
Yeah, never know.
People in the gym be looking at us weird.
I don't care. I get weird looks all the time.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed about the gym is that everybody's so like reserved there. Not necessarily. I want to say they're at
not
a gym.
Negative.
Well, they're not negative. No. But everybody's just kind of like, oh, keep to yourself. I don't want to impose on anybody else. I want to do this. But like, I'm like, again, like walking through the grocery store, I'm like trying to make eye contact with people like, hey, awesome. You're doing great. Like this and that. But it's like, it's a fine line to walk where it's like, you don't want the girls to think that you're flirting this and that.
Yeah. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just my personality. I greet everyone. You've seen that.
Yes, for sure. And that's why I was like, everybody, high fives you or says what's up. And like I want to make sure that like it promotes that sort of community there where everybody's like, hey, I'm glad you made it in today. How is this going? How's that going? What are you doing here? What's that? Like I asked a couple of girls, they were like rolling out their legs, like their hamstrings and their quads. I'm like, should I be doing that? I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, I got to run after this. Is it going to be a hindrance if I do that and then run? Like, I just feel like everybody's just kind of like shelled up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm starting to open up there a little bit more, especially hanging out with you because so many people there. So I'm getting to, mingle a little bit more. But it's definitely interesting. It's interesting, like, because I've never had a gym membership going in there and then everybody just kind of like, oh, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to talk to these people because this is what I like to do. Let me pick that brain.
Yeah. And you'll see me just randomly talking to different people too, nonstop. And there's a lot of people are like, how do you know him? And I was like, I don't. I just started talking to him.
Yeah.
Or it's like, he'll come up, someone's asked me to spot him. I'll sit there and pick their brain for 20 minutes, not even lifting anymore. We'll just be conversing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to build that up to where we do that more. And even my bosses have noticed that people are getting more friendlier.
Good.
It's just like, well, I'm just breaking that stereotype down.
Yeah. Some people just want to go in there and get to work and whatnot. But I think most people are like, I don't know. I know I am. I'm like, yo, somebody like say what's up. Like, oh, you made it in today. Cool. How was work? Or what are you working on now?
Yeah.
Creating that community.
Yeah. And like I've done before, it's like, hey, can I work in with you? I don't care if a lot of times it's just, I just want to be talking to someone.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't like to train with me or work out with me because I go so hard. No, I go too hard.
That you talk too much.
That too. I'm a talker. You've seen me. We get off topic, while we're lifting. And I have to. Let's wrangle it back into working out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I just don't want to be working out by myself, and it's.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have their in-ears in. Okay, you need music, or you'd rather be listening to like a podcast. I would if I would normally do that, but it's like, nah, I need to take in the environment. Like I don't run with music or anything in my ears anymore. I used to. Now I'm just like, take in the environment because I'm already listening to too much shit as it is, like on the way to work, during lunch, like sometimes during work. I need some time where I'm not taking in information like that.
Spatial awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
See what's going on. Overhear what people are talking about. I've butt into conversations. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And a lot of people don't frown upon it because if you can add to the conversation, they're all about it.
For sure.
That way it's not just one-sided anymore. Mm-hmm. There's multiple outlooks towards it.
Yeah.
Whatever. You never know who your next best friend is going to be.
That's it. I've heard you say that before.
It's like, well, just bring it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And people just
get uncomfortable.
Put them walls down.
Get uncomfortable. You'll only be better for it.
Yeah. It's truth.
I gotta piss. Yeah.
All right.
Let's wrap this up, baby.
All right, let's do this.
Anything you want to tell folks? Should we tell them that they should sign up for an EOS membership? And
yeah, come see me on Ray Cooper and Chandler.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What else? Well, the haunted houses that I already passed.
Yep.
Look out for you at the Highland Games.
Yep.
And then the Strongman competition.
Yep.
And
I think it's the first week of August is going to be the Strongman. I think it's the third weekend of March is the Highland Games. So,
okay. Oh yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Perfect. Well, we'll have to get post. Yeah, you'll have to keep me posted. Obviously, I'm training with you.
Yeah.
Do you have like an Instagram or Facebook that you kind of like promote your workouts or?
I do TAC Fit 1 is my Instagram. So it's TAC Fit 1.
Okay.
Is my Insta.
All right. I'll have to find you right now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about the only social media I do.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I do a lot of tactical athlete training. I'm also working with the Southern Arizona firefighting and
very cool.
So.
Oh yeah, so they can follow you on there and see your journey as you train.
Oh yeah,
for the Highland Games and the Strongman competition, and just beating up clients.
Yep, you might be making a guest appearance on a couple of them. Then
I better be crying.
No, that means I pushed you too hard.
Okay, maybe I just had an emotional morning.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Grey's Anatomy really hit me the night before.
Oh,
okay. Perfect. Cool. Well, Mark, anything else you want to drop on these lovely people?
Just get out there and be fit.
Be fit. And not necessarily fit in.
Just be fit.
Be fit. Yeah. Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Follow Mark and follow me, of course. It was a pleasure, man. Thanks for sitting in.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your life.
Cause I'm coming through like a true resident. What y'all know about scraping pipes, smoking resin in a 48?